Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, Nita Gora, Haribol. Haribol, Nita Gora, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Nita Gora, Haribol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajik Acharya, Stotra Sata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajik Acharya, Stotra Sata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvi Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's transcendental book distribution Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Hlada Daine. Prahlada Hlada Daine. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Shilatankana Kalaye. Shilatankana Kalaye. Ito Nrsingha Parato Nrsingha. Ito Nrsingha Parato Nrsingha. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsingha.
Yato yato yami tato nrsimha. Bahir nrsimho hridaye nrsimho. Bahir nrsimho hridaye nrsimho. Nrsimhamading sharanang prapadye. Nrsimhamadim sharanang prapadye. Tava kara kamalavare nakam adbhuta shringam. Dalita hiranya kashipu tanu bringam keshavadrita narahari rupa. Jaya jagadisha hare, Jaya jagadisha hare, Jaya jagadisha hare. Keshavadrita narahari rupa. Jaya jagadisha hare, Jaya jagadisha hare, Jaya jagadisha hare. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Adar Mridanga is better. Give me the Adar Mridanga. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha. Give me the Adar. Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Jai Radha Madhava
Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanashari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotar Shri Srimad Abhaya Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotar Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur Shri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishravind ki Jai Nama Shai Shahadas Thakur ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavind ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jai Jagannath Puri ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Yamuna Mai ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Tulasi Devi ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktavind ki Jai Taking on the world with Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga All glories to Shri Prabhupada Namo Vishnupadaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So today we're reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 text number 2 So Gnanam Te Aham Vignanam Idam Vakshami Asheshataha Yat Gnatva Nam Iha Bhuyaha Anyat Gnatavyam Avashishyate Gnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vaksham Yasheshataha Yajñatvaneho Bhuyonyaj Gnatavyam Avashishyate Gnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vaksham Yasheshataha Yajñatvaneho Bhuyonyaj Gnatavyam Avashishyate Gnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vaksham Yasheshataha Yajñatvaneho Bhuyonyaj Gnatavyam Avashishyate Please repeat. Gnatavyam Avashishyate Gnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vaksham Yasheshataha Yajñatvaneho Bhuyonyaj Gnatavyam Avashishyate Mataji Gnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vaksham Yasheshataha Yajñatvaneho Bhuyonyaj Gnatavyam Avashishyate Gnanam Phenomenal world. So it's phenomenal knowledge. Te unto you. Aham I. Sa with Vignanam numinous knowledge. Idam this. Vakshyami shall explain. Asheshataha in full. Yet which. Gnatva knowing. Na not iha, in this world, bhuyaha, further, anyat, anything, more, gnatavyam, noble, avashishyate, remains. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Purport. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above-mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and this again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession, directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mundaka Upanishad 1.3 say, Kasmin Bhagavo Vijñāte Sarvam Idam Vijñātam Bhavati. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanmatamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasandubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminati Namane Harijanagana Badi Gnana Karmanda Hari Prakatita Para Bhaktir Bhakti Siddhanta Kantihi Vinaya Nikara Lakshmir Nimna Medera Gamyo Bhuvi Jayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine Vagishaya Shivadane Lakshmir Yasachivakshisi Yasyase Hridaye Samvitam Nrisimham Aham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshami sheshataha yajñātvāneha bhūyo nirjñātavyam avashishyate. So here in this verse, Krishna is saying, he will tell us something by, he's going to give us a full knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. And if you know this, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So, in this entire material world, Prabhupada calls it the misdirected civilization. Why? Because they get everything but the main point right. Everything else they're able to get right. They're able to figure out how to make a dehumidifier, how to make a, what's the thing called when there's like no moisture, it's too dry, then like it's called a humidifier, I guess, yeah. They figured out how to make a humidifier, dehumidifier, a rocket, a car, the roads, iPhones, so many things. Very amazing, very nice. They figured out how to make all these things. But they do not know knowledge by which they can be freed from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. The example is given if you're going down a highway, full speed, and somehow or the other, you are going full speed ahead, and then you don't know how to actually, you know how to hit the gas pedal, but you don't know how to hit the brake pedal. But then in the meantime, while you are driving so fast ahead and there's big danger in front of you, you are very expertly, cleaning the side of your seat while you're driving. If you don't know how to hit the gas brake, you're going to die. Similarly, if the ship is sinking, a person may be very expert at like painting or doing this or doing that. But if they do not know how to swim or if they do not know how to ask for help, they will also sink along with the ship. Therefore, the main important point is for us to know how to free ourselves from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. And for this, knowledge is needed. What is the definition of knowledge? Knowledge means knowing what is matter, what is spirit, and who is the controller of both. Over here, Prabhupada writes, complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. So no, what is phenomenal world? Can you look up the definition of phenomenal on our dear friend Google? And then we'll see what phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source behind both of them. So we should understand who is Krishna. Who is Krishna? We should understand how this entire material world is functioning. What is the source behind all these things? A child may think, wow, it's so amazing that he may see a remote control car, and the car may, someone may be like hiding like this, and he may be moving that's called a joystick, right? What's it called? Yeah, joystick around, and the car is going here and there. I remember as a kid, I saw this movie called Home Alone, and then there's like this car, this remote control car, and the car is going everywhere. I thought, wow, that's the coolest thing, I should get one. As a kid, like, a kid may think, wow, it's so amazing that the car is moving on its own and there's no one controlling it. But a person who has knowledge knows that actually, no, there is a controller. The person is controlling this car wherever they're going. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshya jantishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani maya. Krishna says, all living entities, Krishna is directing the wanderings of all living entities, and they're seated on a machine made of material energy. So we can see this machine is there, this body we have is a machine. It's a machine. Some people say the biochemical machine. Anyway, so many fancy words are there. That's nice. But, this machine is there, but what is the source behind the machine's energy? How is the body able to function? How is this machine able to function? A person in ignorance thinks that, it's functioning on its own. There's simply been a big bang, actually. And then from there was nothing, and then all of a sudden something banged, and then everything fell exactly into place the way it is. Now, this is called mythology, because there is no logical sense behind it. If you look at anything in this world, anything that you see, nowadays, our devotees here, Chandan Acharya Prabhu and Janardhan Krishna Prabhu, they are in sourdough bread consciousness to make it for Krishna and the devotees. So every time they talk about so many things, and nowadays I know fancy word, sourdough startup or something like that, and they have all these, they have to like put it exactly right, they have to do it exactly in a particular way in order to offer it to Krishna. So this is very expert knowledge, and this knowledge is very good. If you know how to cook very well, if you know how to use the computers very well, all these things, okay, that may be okay. But ultimately it's a zero. It's a zero. Why? Because you may know how to cook very well, but will your cooking save you from the cycle of birth and death? No. You can make as many amazing computer programs as possible, but when death comes, when your time is over, can your program do something for you? You may be a big computer whiz. You may be creating so many machines and all these things. But all of this is completely zero. But, Prabhupada said, if you add the Krishna 1 in front of all those zeros, then it'll actually have some value. Otherwise, it's simply a zero. Now, if you're a good cook and you can chant 16 rounds and you follow the 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, and you offer it to Krishna with love and devotion, then that cooking will liberate you. Why? Because you have pleased Krishna. You have pleased Krishna. Real knowledge means knowing Krishna. That is knowledge. So why are there so many universities? Are you telling me that the Bhagavad Gita gives us more information than what is there in all the universities put combined? Yes. Krishna sums up our entire material existence and all the knowledge that's there in it in 2 words. He says, Dukhalayam ashashvatam. That is temporary and it's full of misery. This material world is temporary and full of misery. So no matter how much you know how to do this, that, and the other thing, if you don't know Krishna, somehow or the other, in different flavors, shapes, or forms, we will be stuck in the material world. Somehow or the other. So the goal is to get out of this material world. That is the goal. This material world is binding us constantly left, right, and center. It's binding us constantly left, right, and center. And then, because the material world is binding us left, right, and center, we are complete prisoners to it. What is that? Prisoners of our own device. Right? That was a famous line before. Prisoners of our own device. We have made this prison that we are staying in. Somehow or the other, we are thinking that matter is meant for our enjoyment. Everything in this world is meant for our enjoyment. But then, we are simply frustrated in our attempts to do so. And out of this frustration, many people have different worldviews. Out of this sense of frustration. I don't know what to do. Therefore, I'll come up with this philosophy. Everything is one. You are one, I am one, we are all one. But this is simply foolishness. What help will this do? People are very expert at juggling words. We see We go to so many of these conventions. So many people have so many philosophies which make no sense. Recently, we distributed a Bhagavatam to a person. He had his church, and this church is a mushroom church or something it's called. I forget the name. That first fellow we distributed Bhagavatam to on Sunday. He had some church. It's called some mushroom church or something like this. And then you go to his booth, and then he's selling all these products made from these psychedelic mushrooms. Apparently, it's legal now. Did you know that? I did not. Thank God it wasn't legal when I was a karmi. But the temptation should be too much. But we can see this over there. He had all these products that they were selling, and he had his own church, and they had their own philosophy. And then somehow the other, they were like, yes, I really like the Vedas. I said, why you like the Vedas, fellow? You eat like eating mushrooms and doing all these things. Because it speaks about the soma juice. I said, yes, the Vedas speak. The soma juice means they have to like grind up all the mushrooms and drink them, and that's what the demigods sing. I said, how do you know this? He said, I don't know this. I'm just speculating that this is the case. And I told him, you stop your speculation and you get the Bhagavatam, because that's the real knowledge. Why? Because real knowledge means knowledge that comes in disciplic succession. People want to communicate with the aliens, but they do not have the map to go to the alien world. That's why we show them the 5th canto, part 1. Part 2, right? Part 2, yeah. 5th canto, part 2, in the 44-volume set. And we show them the map of the universe. And we tell them, look, do you astral project? They say, yes, we astral. I don't know what they're thinking. But then we tell them, how to astral project? Very nice. Now, this book is very authentic and ancient. It shows you all the planets you're traveling to when you're astral projecting. And then the next page shows us about the star signs, the Sagittarius, the Scorpius, the Aquarius, and the Tula Rashi, this, that, and the other thing. Throw in a few fancy words. Show to them like, wow, it's so amazing. Look, it even tells you according to your horoscope how far you can go. Then you turn the other page, and then on the other page it shows about the yojanas. As to how far, when you astral project, you need to know how far you went and how far it took for you to, how quickly you were able to come back into your body. So all this knowledge is there in the Bhagavatam, and this proper knowledge is coming in disciplic succession. So why don't you buy it? So, my dear friends, they're working so hard, growing all these mushrooms and doing all these things. And with their hard-earned wealth, they purchase a Bhagavatam set. And by doing so, they go back home, back to garden. If maybe not in this life, it's possible, they can go back in this life also. But at least one or two lives, One may say, oh, they're reading this knowledge in the Bhagavatam. They read a few chapters, they don't understand, they put it down. We were telling you about Zach, right? It's a very controversial figure amongst the devotees here. Some think that he has a particular bhav and others think that he doesn't. Some think he's middle ground. But anyway, we sent him, he bought a Bhagavatam. He was sitting somewhere in the corner over there in UCF, and I saw him. I was like, wow, this guy looks like a fit candidate to receive Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So then, he was sitting over there, and then, I convinced him, he was like giving, he's not giving me much. I said, I pointed at his hat, you see, you have 74. Why don't you give 274? Or, I was somehow the other trying to convince him or something. And he bought the bike, okay, you know what, I'll buy it just because my hat has that number or something like this. So then, I asked him, I just texted him this morning. I was singing with Zach. I said, Zach, my boy, how are you? He said, I'm doing good. How have you been? I said, doing good. Where are you? Still at UCF. Have you been reading the books? I just started reading recently. I'm approximately 40 pages so far. 40. I've had a lot of reading to do for my classes recently. He said, very good. Please keep reading. Have you been chanting? Right before I go to bed, he said, right before I go to bed. He chants, we gave him beads and all. He chants right before he goes to bed. So now this is real knowledge because it's coming in disciplic succession. The scientists are fooling us to thinking that, oh no, actually everything came from one single cellular, I don't know what the fancy word is. Everything came from one, atom, particle, something like that. And everything came from that, and now there's all these things which are there going around and all this and all that. Then, they say ultimately the bottom line is that we are all chemicals. Bottom line, that's all. We're all chemicals. Somehow the other, all these chemicals decided to come along, and then, now we have this human body over here. But then, my spiritual master gives this example because his spiritual master gave this example, and we also should give similar examples, give it the same spirit at least, that, if he took a hammer and went and bashed up someone's car, that is not so good. Because you're beating someone's car up. Okay, that's not bad, and I guess you'll get a fine, or like the insurance company will make you pay whatever, how much ever money, whatever. But then if you took the same hammer and you hit the owner of the car, then you will go to jail. So why, if both the car and the chemical and the bodies are all chemicals, then why, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? According to their philosophy, it makes no difference. But still, they're so adamantly foolish. Materna Krishna Paratasvatova Mito Pipadyeta Grahavartanam Adanta Gobir Vishitam Tamishram Punas Punas Sharvata Charvananam. They come up with different philosophies and they take the vow to remain stupid. They don't want to take proper instructions coming in disciplic succession. They don't want to take proper instructions. Why? Why? Because if they take proper instructions, their sense gratification will be ruined. What use is there to life without sense gratification, right? Without pleasing our senses. We are simply a slave to our senses, slave to our carnal desires. And we are not doing anything to stop ourselves from being entrapped by these senses. We are not doing anything. And because we are not doing anything to stop ourselves from this material world and these material desires, because we are not doing anything. Hare Krishna, Mataji, good to see you after a long time. Looks like you got Junior too here. Very nice. Thank you for coming. We've been saving up a lot of prasadam for you. Okay, so yes. So we can see this material world, then, they are missing the point. The same philosophy is there in so many ways, shapes, and forms. The Vedic atheists say that the whole goal of life is to eat ghee. Or the Charvak Muni, he says that. The whole goal of life is to eat ghee. Beg, borrow, or steal, but please make sure you have enough ghee. Because without ghee, what is the use of life? And now the modern scientists and the modern people, they say, beg, borrow, or steal, what does it matter? You only have one life. Gratify your senses as much as you want. Enjoy as much as you can, because one life is all you have. I don't know, when I was in school, there was this thing called YOLO. You only live once. I don't know if it's still there. But saying this kind of stupid things, children would completely damage their health. Say, YOLO, bro. And just say, and then just say, you might as well, just do it, right? And then you might as well undo it. And then they ruin their health, ruin their brain, ruin everything. YOLO, what's the big deal? We're going to die. At least you're going to die, no doubt. But why you want to die quicker than you have to? Already your life is hell. Why you want to make it more hellish? So we should know how to be peaceful in this world. How do we be peaceful in this world? Where is there peace in this world? Nowhere peace. Everywhere you go, there's only suffering, here, there, and everywhere. But we know that there can be peace in this world when we understand Krishna to be the supreme proprietor. Bhoktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantamrichati. If we know Krishna, that's all. We don't need to know anything else. If we know Krishna in truth, then no more birth, death, old age, and disease. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatata tyaktya deham punarjanma naiti mam eti sorjana. What other need is there? What other need is there? For so many other things, so many unnecessary necessities. Prabhupada writes, is such a great poet. So many unnecessary necessities. Oh, so many things are needed now to just live in this world. So many things are needed. But that the more we increase the artificial level of sense gratification, we will go crazy. Actually, nowadays, if you go and walk outside, if you distribute books, one will be able to see the pulse of the people around them. Especially in countries where there's too much sense gratification. Krishna tells this in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantamrichati. Wow, okay, gyatva mam shantamrichati. So Krishna says that when there's too much enjoyment, bhogeshwarya taya pahita chetasam. There's too much enjoyment, too much opulence. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. Or there's two verses like that, right? Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. That a person is not able to focus when there's too much sense gratification. Bhogeshwarya prashaktanam taya pahita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. That because we are enjoying too much, then we are unable to focus on anything. Enjoy too much. Now let's just say all of you are sitting over here, you're paying attention. Now let's just say you all were hungry, and we gave you your most important food stuff, your more favorite food stuff to eat. How will you be able to focus on the class? You will be busy eating the foodstuffs. Busy. And because you're enjoying your senses, you will not be able to pay attention. Now, we can see there's so much sense gratification going on here, there. When there's too much sense gratification, people lose their focus to the degree that they become mad. The root cause, Prabhupada says in this one place, the main reason what is the root cause of all this? Extravagance. Prabhupada writes this, extravagance is the root cause of all distress in this world. Extravagant, too much sense gratification, too much. When you go too much, over the top, the only thing which is never too much is Krishna consciousness. Because everything else, too much, will make you crazy. We can say this, that you may be very hungry and you may like to eat something very nice. And then we may come and give you something very nice. And we were speaking about this. You like to eat ice cream, then you're very hungry. I don't know if it's advisable to eat ice cream when you're hungry and that be your only meal. But let's just say that was what we had. And then, Jidhi Girish knows, yes, if you're only hungry and you only eat ice cream, you will suffer for a few days at least. But still, let's say you're eating ice cream and then you eat 1 pint, that's a blot, right? 1 pint is how much? This much? It's maybe, depends, for different shlokas for different folks. So you may eat 2-3 pints and that may satisfy your hunger. But then if you kept eating the ice cream even after you're full, then what will happen is we will suffer. The same thing which was the cause of our suffering, with the cause of our enjoyment, will be the same cause of our suffering. Same thing, same exact thing in this material world. But Krishna consciousness is like that. You can never chant too much. You can never serve Krishna too much. Why? Because everything in this material world by nature is limited. But Krishna by nature is unlimited. Therefore, knowing Krishna, that is the most important thing. Knowing Krishna means what? Should we memorize the whole Bhagavatam, the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, memorize all the 4 Vedas? That's not necessary. We just know, for example, Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, and then when they were there, this was this was when the devotees first started coming around. Prabhupada was there, and then these Brahmanas came from Vrindavan, and they were all the Chaturvedis. In India, you'll meet people. I had a friend. His name was Yash Trivedi. Means he's a Brahmin. He knows he should be knowing all the 3 Vedas, but he didn't know anything about the Vedas. He didn't know. But there are Chaturvedis. That means they know all the 4 Vedas by heart. That's very amazing, actually. They have such amazing brain power. It's very impressive. But then Prabhupada asked them, my dear Chaturvedi Brahmanas, what is supreme? Who is the supreme person? Then they said, oh, well, it's very hard to say. Some people say that it's this, and some people say that it's that. In the Vedas, some places it says like this, in the Vedas, some places it said like that. Then he called Shyamasundar Prabhu and his wife's daughter. And she said, Saraswati, who is supreme? She said, Krishna is the supreme personality of God, and you must surrender unto him. Just see. Although she's a 4-year-old girl, she knows more than them. She knows more than them. Because this is what is needed for us to know. This is what's needed for us to know. It's okay, you'll be a very amazing guy at driving, at knowing how to build a car, and you may know what engine goes in there, and this, that, and the other thing. You may know all these things very nicely. But if you don't know how to drive the car, what use is your knowledge? A man is rowing on a boat, along with the boatman, and then, he's a very educated guy, and he asks him, my friend, do you know, he has a boatman, do you know about, he has some technical thing, do you know about this engine in a car? He says, no. He said, 50% of your life is wasted. And he keeps asking him questions, and he said, do you know? Oh no, 50% of your life is wasted. Then somehow there's a hole in the boat, and the boat is sinking. And then the boatman asks the guy, do you know how to swim? He says, no. He said, 100% of your life is wasted. So this is like this is our life in the material world. 100% of our life is wasted if we do not know Krishna. What's the use? So what? So what? A big brain can't even make a chapati. Right? Prabhupada would tell that to Harikesh Swami. Big brain can't even make a chapati, So, we can say big brain, so many big brains, you must have big brain to make all these rocket ships and spaceships and no matter how amazing of a spaceship you build, you will not be able to escape from this world of birth and death. Pantashta koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayora atapi manaso munipungavanam sopyasi yasastimina vichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Even if you built a mine traveling at the speed of if you build a spaceship traveling at the speed of the mind, we will not even be able to come close to the light emanating from the toenails of Krishna. Think about how fast that spaceship is. Mind is so fast. Now if I told you Mayapur, immediately, you can go to Mayapur because you all just came from there. If I told you any other place you were in, let's say if I said California or someplace you've been there, you can know immediately your mind takes you there to California right away. Now imagine you were able to build a spaceship so amazing, so fast, that it travels at the speed of the mind. If you travel for billions of years, still we will not be able to get out of this material world. So what is the use? What is the use of Aroha Pantha? What is the use of trying to speculate our way up there? No. Real knowledge is the descending knowledge, the descending process. This is the real knowledge. That when we are able to receive transcendental knowledge from Krishna and through the disciplic succession, that is the real knowledge. Not this, not that, the other thing. That's why Krishna says to Arjuna, it's nice, Arjuna was not a big Brahmana. I mean, they knew so many things about the Vedas. Why? Because the Pandavas, every time they had some time for leisure, they would worship the Brahmanas and have them speak Hari Katha to them. They would have them speak narrations from the Vedas, the Puranas and the Upanishads. The Pandavas would nicely listen and go into ecstasy, actually. They would go into ecstasy. They would be transferred to the spiritual world. When they would listen to Narada Muni speak and all this. And then in one place, was it Maitreya Rishi? Maitreya Rishi or one of the Maitreya or who is the person who saw Krishna sucking his foot on a leaf? Markandeya Rishi. Once, Markandeya Rishi, the Pandavas meet him, and he agrees to give them a Bhagavatam class, more or less. He agrees to speak to them from the Vedas and the Puranas. And then news spreads around, and all the rishis come to hear from Markandeya Rishi speak. Wow, it's so amazing. Because that's the most amazing thing to do. To serve Krishna, to hear about Krishna. It is very amazing, actually. So, this is real knowledge. This is the most amazing thing. Not all these other things which are claimed to be of importance, relevance, and things in this world. They have no relevance. Ultimately, why? Because they are matter. Any conception which is materialistic has no relevance. Because it will ultimately finish us off. Ultimately, it will finish us off. What is there in this world which is so nice? What is there in this world which is so nice? Everything will come to an end. Everything will come to an end. Your youth will come to an end. Your beauty, if you have any at all, will come to an end. So many things, if you have. Your wealth will come to an end. Your car, your this, your that. All these things will come to an end. Dehapatta kalata adisho atma sainisha shatsvapi. We take shelter of so many fallible soldiers. No, I have a very strong body. No, I'm part of this nation and they have a very great army. No, my family members, they are very strong. They'll protect me. I'm an aristocratic person. All my aristocratic friends will protect me. But they're all known as fallible soldiers. When death comes, what can they do? They make a big show of being great soldiers. But the minute there's a sight of the enemy, they all flee. What is the use of taking shelter of things of this material world? It's simply like taking shelter of a moving cloud in the hot sun. Anyone have that experience? Sometimes we're distributing books in the Walmarts, and then it's hot up there. It's so hot in the sky. And then the parking lot being black and made of, what's it called? Asphalt. That also becomes very hot. Hot from the top, hot from the bottom. We're still trying to distribute books somehow or the other. The outside, that's if we don't give up our determination, stay outside and we go inside. And that's a whole other leela in itself. But, it's so hot up and down, and then we are really suffering like anything. And then if a cloud comes, oh, wow, so nice. And the cloud goes away in 2 minutes. And we're back to suffering more than we were before. So this is the so-called shelter of this material world. There is no shelter. That's the so-called knowledge of this material world. We are not condemning this material civilization because we are not Mayavadis. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vasanaha mumukshvi parityago phalgu vairagya katyate. That we know how to properly use things in the service of Krishna. Hari sambandhi vastunaha. We should know how everything is related to Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and use it in His service. We are not being hypocrites by using this microphone, by using this phone, by using this TV. We're not being hypocrites. Why? We're not being hypocrites for this simple reason. Because we see who is the master of all these things. Who is the master? Who do all these things belong to? No, this company made this and all that. Okay, very nice. The company may have made this. But then, for example, once Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk with this big businessman. He had like this cement company or brick company or something like this, very big man. So then Prabhupada asked him, oh wow, you're such a big man. So like, okay, so tell me, how do you make your product? And he said, we do this. I think he was a brick guy, and speaking on how he does this and how he does that. And then he said, okay, so how do you make this? So the base level, he said, we take all the sand and then we do this with the sand and then we make the bricks. The Prabhupada said, oh, then you're a thief. How am I a thief? Because all this belongs to Krishna. The land belongs to Krishna. The water belongs to Krishna. The fire belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. But then you are taking that and this is called copyright infringement, actually. These are all Krishna's properties. But we are using it for our own benefit without giving credit to Krishna. So you are a thief. You are a thief. And then Prabhupada was just, getting on his case the whole morning walk. Why? Because this is the real thing. If we don't know who is the master of everything, the proprietor of everything, then we are thieves. And when we steal, then there will be consequences. So we should understand this. Krishna is the only object of all types of yoga practice. So many yoga practices are there. But Krishna is the object of all these things. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we serve Krishna, when we think about Krishna, when we cook for Krishna, even when we take rest to serve Krishna. When we eat to keep this body fit to serve Krishna. When we distribute books for Krishna, when we distribute books about Krishna, when we chant the holy names of Krishna, then we will get the mercy of Krishna. This is the most amazing thing, receiving the mercy. Although we are very undeserving, we receive the mercy. Why? Why? Because Krishna is so kind. Krishna is giving us all these instructions. He comes in the form of the devotees. He comes in the form of the kirtan. He comes in the form of his books. Once one devotee there was a great craze actually amongst a particular intellectual society. They wanted to know how the chariots of the warriors in Mahabharata and the demigods, all of those were made. There was a great craze amongst particular professors in these different universities. There was a great craze actually. And then one devotee was very excited. Prabhupada, they want to know. They want to know how to make these chariots. And Prabhupada met them and he said, they want to know about spiritual technology. So Prabhupada said, real spiritual technology means Guru Parampara. Means disciplic succession. Coming from Krishna. That is the real spiritual technology. By getting this, we will know. If we know Krishna, we will know everything. So does this mean now that the spiritual master knows everything, past, present, and future? Does this mean that the spiritual master knows everything about everything about everything? Does that mean he has the same knowledge of Krishna? No. Prabhupada said, I know what Krishna wants me to know. Once someone was challenging Srila Prabhupada and they asked him, Prabhupada, the spiritual master knows everything. Then, can you tell me how many windows are there in the Empire State Building? Then Prabhupada immediately replied. Prabhupada said, do you know how many drops of water are there in a mirage? Okay, so it's stupid stuff. What's the use of knowing this? How many windows are there in the Empire State Building? What's the use? The spiritual master knows what Krishna wants him to know. That's the point. It's not like the spiritual master, Trikala Gyan, he knows everything. No, not like that. The spiritual master knows what Krishna wants him to know. Some living entities may have the potency, like Yamaraj. He has the same potency almost as much as a super soul. He knows all the, everything, every thought, every sin that we've committed. He has his friend Chitragupta writing it down. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the line in which he appeared, his family, Kaya says they're coming from Chitragupta, the bookkeeper of Yamaraj. But the spiritual master knows what Krishna wants to know. Why? Why? Because of firm friendship with his spiritual master and Krishna. Sa evayam mayate dya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakacheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Prabhupada is mentioning this verse in this chapter, in this purport. He's mentioning why. Krishna, I will tell you the greatest secrets in all these most amazing knowledge. Why? Bhakto sime sakacheti, because you are my friend. Because you are my devotee. I will tell you all this knowledge. I will give you all this knowledge. Because we are Krishna's friend. Brahmachari Guru Kule Vasandanta Guror Hitam. Acharan dasyate nicho guru sukhrida saukhridaha. That the spiritual master, no matter what varna he appears to be in, brahmachari, grihastha, whatever, is always like a brahmachari to his spiritual master. Why? Because even if he's grihastha, he follows the principles of brahmacharya within his ashram. He follows that. And he has firm friendship and faith in the spiritual master. And because of this, he is not like Prabhupada is saying some nonsense where he's saying, I only know what Krishna wants me to know. No. Prabhupada knows everything that he needs to know. Why? Because the simple principle mentioned in the last verse of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Yasya devi para bhaktir yata devi tata guru tasya te katita hyarta prakashante mahatmanaha. By having firm faith in this bona fide spiritual master and Krishna simultaneously. When I look at my spiritual master's tilak, I think about that. One line shows his firm faith in his spiritual master, and the other line shows his firm faith in Krishna. And because he has this, then all the imports of the Vedic literature is revealed to him. This is the most amazing thing. This is the most amazing thing. This is knowledge of the phenomenon in the numinous world. For example, your grandfather was shocked when Guru Maharaj was telling, like, oh, he knows. He was saying, oh yeah, this plant is like this, that plant is like that. He's like, wow, that's amazing. How do you know this? That's actually fake neem, isn't it? How do you know? How do you know what fake neem is? How do you know?
The leaf was dead.
The leaf was dead too. It was not like a fresh.
20 feet away.
He's like, does she have fake neem? Yeah, how do you know? He's like, yeah, I see, like, how do you know? Yashideva parabhakti yata deva tata guru. He knows. He knows. Live example, Acharya. Teaching by example. So we see this, we know like this. We can aspire to be a particle of dust at the lotus feet of the bona fide spiritual master. That is the definition of humility. Not all these other things. So we should understand these points. We should understand these points. So many people say, oh, there was a big bang, and from the big bang everything's happened. But no. First, there was a big bang of Srila Prabhupada's books. And then by accident, somehow or the other, these books fell into the hands of all these conditioned souls. And somehow or the other, by chance, they came into this temple and became devotees of Krishna. But no, there is no such thing as chance. It is simply the desire of Srila Prabhupada. This is the desire of Prabhupada. So we should do this. We should do this. By knowing Krishna, Ishvara Sarva Krishna, Sachitananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karna Karna. By knowing Krishna to be the supreme controller, by knowing him to be the supreme person, by knowing him to be Krishna, the all-attractive, beautiful personality. Knowing him to be eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, the very embodiment of that. Knowing him to be beginningless, knowing him to be Govinda, the desire, the person who gives pleasure to all the senses of the devotees and to the cows. We want to go to the planet of the cows. We can have that slogan. Go to the planet of the cows. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, Krishna is a cowherd boy. He likes to have cows a lot. We also like cows a lot. Both types. Both types of cows, we like them a lot. Because milk is needed to perform yajna, and milk is needed for the yajna also. So, Krishna is like this, he likes the cows. Krishna, planet of the cows. Govinda, another. Sarva Karna Karna, he is the cause of all causes. Krishna is the cause of all causes. So if we understand this point, we chant Hare Krishna, we should dance like mad in Kirtan. That pleases Krishna very much. Should dance, should be very enthusiastic. Mangal Arti, Gaur Arti, Narsam Arti, Tulasi Arti, all Artis. See my Guru Maharaj, he's like a madman, I see him. See him dancing every morning, he did it almost like madman. I think I want to be mad like him. That's the goal, to become mad. To be very happy, to be madly in love with Krishna. Now when you're in love with someone, then nothing matters. You eat, you don't eat, what does it matter? If anyone has had this miserable experience of falling in so-called lust in this material world, you will know, so amazing, so amazing. And then you get to know the person like, oh my God. Then that's our experience in this material. But Krishna is not like that. The more you get to know Krishna, the better it gets actually. That's why there is no love in this material world. Love is for Krishna and his devotees. That's the point. Love is for Krishna and his devotees. Not all these other things. I love you means I lust you, that's all. You love you fall in love with this beautiful girl, model, but then somehow the other, by a misfortune, if someone threw acid on her face and her face got disfigured, what will happen to your love? It will go away. You love someone so much, oh, I love. But we see so many people keep falling in love. Why don't people fall in love with the fat, ugly, grandma who's about to die? Why don't they? Actually, we were shocked to see recently that there was this person, anyway, we were shocked to see that there was this person, person is like, pretty, like they would have to wear a big t-shirt, I don't know if we get them in Walmart. And then they had to move on a wheelchair actually. And they were very intuitive. They had a booth where like people come and like, they're acharyas, and they come and they take spiritual insight or advice or something from them. And then they just tell them, I sent you all a video. Did you all see that on Ashram Comms? The kind of scam that goes on. They'll all like start crying and like all of them have like tissue papers ready, They have tissue papers ready to give them like, oh, mama. And it's like such a classic scam. They say, for example, one guy was trying to do it to me. He was like, you have like a feminine person really protecting you. Is your mother alive? And usually people say, no. Oh, they start crying. Actually, yeah, my mom is alive. So, oh, no, you know what? I say, she must be your grandmother. I said, no, my grandmother is alive. It's like, oh, this guy is like, your cousin? I know, they're all alive, Brad. I don't know, what the heck is this? Like maybe I was like too fat, looking too old, and he thought this guy's grandmom is definitely dead or something. But, he was like, like, no, they're all alive. Then who the heck are you seeing, bro? They're like, what are you seeing? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying, My God, they say, oh, no, your great-grandmother. Like, bro, come on. My great-grandmother, I met she was like 100 years old when I met her, and she was awesome and all that. But I guess you go far enough, like someone's dead, right? Oh, yeah, that person's protecting you. There's this other person, we will draw a portrait of like your guardian angel or someone who's protecting. They just draw a random picture of someone like, you know who this is? We also carry like a picture of Ali Krishna, but would you know who this is? There's Ali Krishna. He wants you to buy these. But they make like these random, like, what the heck is wrong with these people, man? But then, there was this guy, and then like that person was there wearing, big t-shirt, And then like, we saw what they ate, big donut, Dunkin' donut thing, Big box full, donuts over, gone. One person, and like, oh, wow, talented. That was amazing. And I was thinking like, oh, Lord, what's going on? And then I thought like, okay, this person's definitely that person's son. Yeah. So then I come up to like, wow, like, how are you guys related? Like, she's my wife. Like, wife? What the heck? How old are you, bro? 36. How old is that person? 51. 51. I said, when did you all get married last year? When did you meet last year? I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? And she's like, yeah, I first went as her customer. And then like, somehow the other, like we realized that we both want the same things in life. This and the other thing. And then I'm thinking, dude, at least materially don't make dumb choices, But then, like, it's crazy. The person is clearly on the verge of death. If a person is obese, then the person is like really on the verge of death, But it's that's how it is, right? Then he's a nurse. He'll tell you all the technical details. But we know enough. We don't need anyway. We know enough. We see like, wow, this is crazy. At least, but usually our experience is they don't fall in love with like an old grandma whose hair is gray and she's about to die. Why don't you go to the hospital and find the coma patient and fall in love with the coma patient? No. We have to fall in love with someone very beautiful and very attractive. Within our league, most of the time, outside our league actually, most of the time. But, we see this is the nature of lust in this world. But Krishna is not like that. That's why love is for Krishna and his devotees. That's what we want. To fall in love with Krishna, how do you fall in love with Krishna? By Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. By being one-pointed, focused on the order of the spiritual master. That is the secret of all success. Because if we are focused on that, we are pleasing the spiritual master. Acharya mam vijaniyam naiva manheta karhichit. That the spiritual master, sarvadeva mayo guruhu. The spiritual master is the embodiment of all the demigods. So, when we please the spiritual master, we are pleasing Krishna and all the demigods. What need is there for us? Devarshi bhuta dhananam pitrina. So many deaths may be there, but the minute we take shelter of Krishna and serve Krishna, then all this death, all these this and that, everything goes away. Because Krishna will protect us. The lotus feet of Krishna are so beautiful. They're the most amazing things in this world. So beautiful, so amazing. You know that? So we should be exhausted with this material world. Who has this? Who's? Give me your phone. So we can see there's so many beautiful verses glorifying Krishna, glorifying Krishna's lotus feet. There's one very beautiful verse which comes to my mind. Karacharana saroje kanti mannetra mine shamamushi bhuja vichi vyakula gada marge harisarisi vigaya teja piyo jalogam bhavamaru parikinna kleshamatya tyajame. The desert of material existence has exhausted me. But today I will cast aside all troubles by diving into the lake of Lord Hari and drinking freely of the abundant waters of its splendor. The lotuses in that lake are his hands and feet, and the fish are his brilliant shining eyes. That lake's water relieves all fatigue and is agitated by the waves his arms create. The current flows deep without fathoming. This is Krishna. Should be exhausted by the desert of material existence and dive into the lake of devotional service. The ocean of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is so beautiful. Anyway, we can speak about this later, maybe some other time. But we can see this is the goal of our life, to somehow or the other please Krishna. So I'll end the class over here. If there's any questions or comments, we can take them now. Yes, Kalki Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I had two questions. My first question is, I don't know if you have any thoughts. So Krishna, the verse that we read today, let me just bring up the Sanskrit. So he starts the verse, so Gyanam Teham Savi Gyanam. And so Prabhupada translates Gyanam in this verse as phenomenal knowledge, and then Vijnanam as numinous knowledge. Generally, like we hear Gyanam is just translated broadly as like knowledge, and Vijnanam is like realized knowledge. Just wondering, like, if you have any like thoughts on like why, like what exactly like Krishna is trying to like explain.
It's simple, in a very simple. One of the ways we can explain this, is that whatever knowledge is there of this material world, we may have all this knowledge, but when you have Vijnana, you can engage that knowledge in Krishna's service. It's very simple to understand, You're an expert cook, But if you weren't cooking for Krishna, what's the use of your cooking? But, you have this knowledge, you're engaging it in Krishna's service. That is proper. That's Vijnana. So, Jnanam to Vijnanam. Jnanam teham sa Vijnanam.
Okay, that's very good. My next question is, so just kind of continue on. So so Prabhupada gives a translation, and he opens up that, so complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, the source of them. And he says this is transcendental knowledge. So how is it that material knowledge is transcendental if we know this world and things like that?
Ritetam yad pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yata bhasha yata tamaha. That if we are seeing this material world, again, same thing. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha. We see Hari Sambandhi, whatever vastu is there, then that, we transcendentalize it to use it in Krishna's service. So this material world is there, for example, Daivi Hesha Gunamai. Krishna says even the material nature is actually spiritual. But, and by Krishna's mercy, for example, the bhoga, all that is actually material, right? The veggies that we were cooking, the rice that we're cooking, the dal, the salt, all these things are actually material things, right? But then Krishna's potency is such that by devotional service, that becomes, transcendental. Matter turns into spirit. So that we understand like this from that perspective. Is that okay, or you have some thoughts on that?
Why?
Yeah.
No, I just want to.
Yeah, we just look at everything, who's the proprietor of everything. Then we engage it accordingly in Krishna's service. Anything else? Yes.
So, the spiritual master is, I've also heard in different places, like I can't find the reference, but the spiritual master is Trikalagya as well. I've heard like that. Like, 'cause, I mean, there's different parts. I was looking into Prabhupada's books, but he says like different sages, Trikalagyas.
In this regard, there's this word called, there's this name in Vishnu Sahasranama, forgetting the name of the lecture, of the name, but it's called the maker of scripture. No, I don't know if it's Shastrakrit. Shastrakrit is the right. That's I don't know if that's the word mentioned. In that, my Guru Maharaj speaks about how the sages and the rishis, they're actually mantra drashtas. That at the time of creation, the Vedas are what? What are the Vedas? Sound? Yes, another thing. The breath of Lord Vishnu. So all the knowledge, all the transcendental knowledge is there in this material world. All the knowledge is there in the material world. You found it? Kritagama, right. Kritagama. All the knowledge is there in this world. It comes from the breath of Mahavishnu. And the particular rishi is there known as mantra drashtas. They're able to see these mantras and they write this mantra down. The spiritual master also, is also a mantra drashta. And he sees the mantras, he sees the knowledge that Krishna wants him to know. That's why Prabhupada says this. Trikalagya means you should, like Krishna is Trikalagya. Like for example, Krishna says in that Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjana bhavishyani chabutani mam tu vedana kashana. I know past, present and future. The spiritual master doesn't know past, present and future like the way Krishna does? No. That's not there. Anyway, in one lecture, if you want to get technical and esoteric in one regard, some of the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, they say that when the jiva goes to the spiritual world, they have the same knowledge as that of Vishnu. But our Acharyas disagree. No. That we cannot have the same knowledge as that of Vishnu. So the spiritual master knows what Krishna wants him to know. So whatever Krishna wants him to know, he knows. And then why don't Prabhupada say, okay, actually there's like 5,748 windows on the Empire State Building, and they go and they count it actually turns out to be. No, what's the use of knowing this? Spiritual master knows what Krishna wants him to know, even about the past, even about the present, and even about the future. So that's the proper understanding. Okay. Anything else?
I don't know if maybe you addressed this, but I looked up the definition of numinous.
Okay. I wanted the definition of phenomenal.
Well, phenomenal
Okay.
is pretty like.
Yeah,
Numinous is like I don't really like.
Numinous
I mean,
is?
surpassing comprehension or understanding.
Yeah, that's very, phenomenal and numinous. So whatever is in your pratyaksha, whatever you can experience, there's knowledge of what you can experience. And then there's knowledge of what you can't experience. But now the question comes, how will you know the knowledge of what you cannot experience? Will you speculate or will you take shabda? Will you take the knowledge, apaurashaya? Will you take knowledge from the Vedic text?
Vijnana specifically is being referred to as
Realization.
numinous.
Okay, numinous. Yeah, there you go.
Because it's like-
Numinous knowledge, we know about all this other stuff that we cannot perceive from a bona fide source.
Yeah. So just main thing is like that it's realized.
It's realized now.
Because like if it's jnana means like it's conceivable to some extent because you get knowledge and you understand it theoretically. But vijnana means you can't, even if you understand it theoretically, it's like beyond your comprehension of when it's numinous. So it's like numinous knowledge is like, you may be able to conceptualize it, but you can't really like, okay, we can think about bhakti, but you can't really experience bhakti until you like engage in it.
Yeah.
So it's like numinous in that way. It's like it's inconceivable.
Inconceivable, yeah.
So it's like, it's really interesting how Prabhupada like uses that particular language.
It's inconceivable. Krishna's potency is inconceivable. How Krishna works is inconceivable. An amazing thing. I was looking at some verse in the Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada translates Vijnana as being practical. So it's practical knowledge, practical application. Anything else? Yes, Judagirish.
This relates to the point Kalki Prabhu brought up about like jnana and vijnana. Honestly, I'm really spacing out right now. But anyways,
They should be spacing out.
Yeah.
You're making them must have faith in you.
Shoot,
We have to
what
make
did-
it. Make it through.
What did you talk about?
Bro,
Anyways, I brought up Bhakti Ethan.
what is this Jnana? What is Vijnana? That's what.
Yeah.
Bhakti Ethan posted that thing, Harish. That's exactly what I quoted just now.
Okay.
I quoted that exact conversation.
Okay. Anyways,
Very fine.
in that case, then,
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna quote it verbatim, but if you already.
Yeah, jet lag.
Yeah.
It rubs off, right? It rubs off.
Did that to Prabhupada, they had a question and then they got called on it and they're like, oh, I forgot my question. Prabhupada said it must have not been important.
Wow. That's
It
it.
must have not been life or death.
Anything else? Mataji's? Questions? All right. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.